Whether you're looking to transform your health or just maintain optimal health, there's something for everyone. The Get Australia Healthy Show.
Well, one of the key myths is that it's somehow going to decimate your protein stores or it's going to wreck your metabolism. Both of them are completely untrue. We know that in the 1950s, we had the famous Swedish fasters, and they spent 9 days on water alone, and they walked over 350 miles. And they were measured for protein content in the blood and body constitution before they left and afterwards. And even after 9 days, there was no difference in their protein concentrations. So we know categorically, no, it doesn't have that impact. And 1 to 3 days won't have any impact on metabolism at all. 1 to 3 days is completely fine. And most people can fast for about 40 days on water without any negative effects at all, simply because most people are carrying so much body fat. They just chew away on the fat and they use it as fuel, which is what it is. So the two myths that are incorrect is that fasting will deplete your protein stores, and that's just not correct. And secondly is the impacts on your metabolism. And thirdly, you'll get tired. Now I've had my son, I've got a 23-year-old son, my eldest boy, and he broke a Guinness World Record by hopping on a treadmill, which is a strength and stamina and endurance event. And he did that on a plant-based whole food diet a day after fasting. So he then got on the treadmill and broke a world record. And the people were so impressed with him, they flew him to Rome and he went through Europe. You know, it's quite interesting stuff. But the point here is, will fasting deplete your energy if done properly? No, it won't. It will free your energy up. I fasted for 31 days at a time, and on the 26th day of my 31-day fast, I did 160 push-ups without stopping. It's the most I've ever done without a break. And my friend who was there watching me, and we were doing these workout things together, he was watching, and I was like the Energizer Bunny, just push up, push up, push up, and I didn't stop. And I remember looking up at him, doing these push-ups, going, I can't believe it. And he was counting, and we just kept looking, and the amount of energy that you have when you're fasting is amazing when it's done properly and correctly. And of course, there's a few ways to fast. Again, I cannot reiterate as much. It's very important to always fast with vegetable juices first, and always do it after you've been eating a plant-based whole food diet for a period. Your hormones are affected beneficially, simply because the liver starts to clean out rubbish, the bowel will clean out rubbish, the body will start to find its place. And of course, your gut health is where your microbiome is, and your microbiome is all your probiotic bacteria. They create your genetic expression, and they trigger your genes to express themselves. Hence, if you eat apples and vegetables, you get good genetic expression. If you eat hamburgers and chips, you get bad genetic expression. So the gut is so important in our health profile because 85% of our immune system is right there in the gut. And your immune system, of course, runs your disease risk and runs whether you get ill. One of the reasons I never get ill, and for the first 25 years of my life, I was sick as a dog all the time. Asthma, hay fever, colds, flus, weight problems, skin problems, you name it. I cured them all through changing my diet and regular fasting. It's one of those simple things you can go through that will, over time, help you get your hormones back into place, your moods back into place. And of course, it needs to be combined with a number of things like making intelligent lifestyle choices like not smoking or drinking, or if you're going to drink alcohol, very small amounts as opposed to binge drinking, anything like that. So making smart choices, getting enough sleep, again, will have a huge impact on your hormones. But one of the great things about fasting, it does change your perception of time. And it does change your perception when you travel, for instance. I always fast if I'm going to travel around the world over a period of time because it wipes out jet lag. You don't get jet lag if you're fasting because your body immediately adjusts, your rhythms adjust to the different time zones you're in. So it's a wonderful thing to do. So benefits for hormones, benefits for brain health, benefits for emotion, benefits for mood, and really powerful for lowering the risk of cancer, for heart disease. And of course, when you're treating cancer, it makes cancer treatments more effective when you're fasting. There was a study done, and I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was something like a number of animals who had cancer and they were being given chemotherapy and radiation and things. The animals that were fasting when they were treated, there was a 60% survival rate. The animals that weren't fasting, there was a 100% death rate. So very effective in terms of raising your survival rate alongside conventional medicine as well. Okay, well the approach to weight loss, there's two ways to approach weight loss when it comes to fasting. What I tend to do is teach people how to eat a plant-based whole food diet and then regularly bring in regular fasting as part of a lifelong routine, not a short-term fix. I don't recommend people fast for 9 days and then go back to their normal diet. That's completely and utterly stupid. It won't give you any benefit at all. So fasting is best brought into occasionally, and what I call is regular fasting is how I talk about it. And what that means is one week you do a Tuesday, the next week you do a Thursday, the following week you do a Wednesday, the next week you do a Monday, and then you have a week where you don't fast. Then the following week you do Thursday, Friday, and then the next week you do Wednesday. And that's called regular fasting. And that keeps the body, its super adaptive mechanisms keep kind of stimulated so that the body doesn't know what's going to happen, which is of course what's happened in history. We didn't always know that there was going to be food or no food throughout history, so we always actually had, fasting was never something that we did regularly. It was irregularly regular, if you get my point. And in terms of what it does in terms of weight loss, there's two ways. One way with weight loss is that you intake far less calories, but you're eating a lot more healthy, and your liver is your prime fat-burning organ. So your liver is the most important organ when it comes to weight loss. And if you can get your liver functioning more effectively and getting rid of the old fat and having good fats in the diet, getting rid of the old cholesterol, toxins through the bile, then you'll get much more effective weight loss. And I've seen this with all the people I work with. I work with hundreds of people. You get incredible weight loss with almost everybody once you start treating the liver with respect. How is the most effective way? What is the most effective way to treat the liver with respect? Is to stop eating for a period, because your liver is your filter, and it takes everything goes through your liver, all your blood, everything goes through the liver all the time. So if you can actually stop eating for a period, the liver gets a lot happier. And we give everything a break. We give our car a break. We give our animals a break. Everything gets a break except human beings. And in terms of we eat every day. Every day we eat. And the opposite, the polar opposite. We're built genetically very effectively for occasionally fasting. What we're not built for is overeating. And of course what we've been doing now for the last 40, 50 years is eating too much food. There's just too much food. So it's the polar opposite of what we normally do. So one way the weight loss is generally the lowering of the intake of calories. The second way is that the liver dramatically improves, and the more effective your liver is, the more effective you are at weight loss and managing your weight. The third way is when you get into water fasting, which again is something I only recommend after a long period on vegetable juice fasting. Once you get into water fasting, after 3 days you get into ketosis, which is when the body then completely lives on the fuel of the fat. So it just eats away at the fat in the human body. And that's when it eats the dead, diseased, decaying and dying cells, which are stored in the fat cells of the human body. They start to get flushed through the liver, and you literally remove them from the human body. One of the key things is to think about, well, it's like an alcoholic. We know that if you've got an alcoholic, and all of us will know an alcoholic, someone will know someone in our lives. If you get an alcoholic and you hold a bottle in front of them, you'll actually see their mind following around after the bottle, and you'll know that the alcohol actually has them. It's completely in charge. They're addicted to it. We have the same thing with gluten, fat, salt and sugar, which is in most foods. So when I talk about fasting, I say to people, look, firstly, the first fast you do, and this is only once you're ready for it, just do 3 or 4 hours. Just do from morning to lunch. People go, oh, I can do that, that's easy. I go, okay, great. Then try another one a week later and go till 2 o'clock. Oh, I can do that, that's easy. Next week, go to 4 o'clock. The trick with most people is between 3 o'clock and 8 o'clock. That's the period when most people get done. So mentally, if you can just stagger yourself and just take little bits of a time, for the hundreds of people I've worked with fasting, most of them actually go straight away and do 36 hours. And they think it's the easiest thing they've ever done, because they're ready, they're mentally ready. And that's the trick with fasting. You've got to go, you know what, I'm just not going to eat for a period. Let's see how we get on. And people are amazed at how easy it is. And when you're prepared and you've been eating a high fiber diet, so your bowels are working, you're prepared, you step into it, it actually is really easy to do, and they do it regularly. And people email me, I've done 1 day now, can I do 2 days? What about 3 days? I'm on my 3rd day, I'm not hungry, can I keep going? And look, that's fine, keep going. Make sure you're having good, nourishing vegetable juice. You know, make sure you're getting enough rest, you're not overexerting yourself. But the mental trick is simply approach it as a long-term project. Don't suddenly go, I'm going to do 10 days, but actually go, I'm going to do half a day. Let's see if we can do a day next week, and you'll find it's incredibly easy if you do that, because most of us are simply addicted to that mixture of foods that we're eating every day. And if you remove that, mentally, you've already won half the battle.
Don't forget to subscribe for regular show updates and campaign news, and together, let's get Australia healthy.